Hey gardeners, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be dedicating this video to all about seedlings and how to transplant them. So let's jump right into this video. So when it comes down to gardening, something we love doing is starting plants from seed because we're able to see how a very tiny singular seed grows and develops to be a mature big plant. And in my case, since I love growing food, we love seeing small seeds produce more produce. However, when it comes to handling seedlings, it is very delicate because they're baby plants. They're more vulnerable and susceptible to many different things, which many gardeners at this point of transplanting seedlings have failed because they don't do certain things right. So I'll be covering everything you need to know about transplanting them, how cautious you have to be, and what should you do after planting them. So let me go ahead and talk about what we'll be transplanting today. In my past video, A Beginner's Guide to Seed Starting, I discussed all the seedlings I have planted or all the seeds I planted this growing season. And the one I'll be planting today is the Xanadu sweet corn. This one is my second go at growing sweet corn because usually I always have issues growing corn. However, it looks pretty promising to this point. So I have them in my Epic 6L seed starting tray. If you want to link towards these, I'll be leaving it in the description box below. Make sure you go purchase them. They are so convenient, and I'll show you today why. Make sure to use my discount code, the Ultimate Gardener 5, for a 5% discount on your entire order. So let's move to the area I'll be planting my corn in. So here below me, I have my Birdie's raised bed garden, in which I love using. However, I actually planted some tomatillos in here with the tag I have here, but they didn't really grow. I guess it's really hot for us to grow them right now, so they didn't germinate as well as I wish they would. So I'll be planting corn in its place. So something we need to know about growing corn is, one, the spacing. So the first tip when it comes down to transplanting your seedling is to know the spacing. Corn in this case loves to be planted together as they tend to benefit from one another, and it helps the corn be pollinized way easier. So that's what I'll be doing. It seems to be I'll be only planting them in a half section of the raised bed, and the other half I'll be actually planting with broom corn, which also came up, and I'll be transplanting as well. So let me bring the camera closer and let's discuss about actually transplanting them. So another thing is, since they are seedlings and they're getting transplanted, it's time for them to get fed. So I'll be using the Espoma Organic Biotone Starter Fertilizer, which is great for any new transplant. So here I have the seedlings. As you can see, the roots are actually starting to emerge from the bottom by the slits and the hole in the bottom right beneath there. So let me go ahead and show you exactly why these seed starting kits are actually very useful. So the reason how they are so easy to transplant is you put a little pressure in the bottom of the hole, and there comes out the whole plug of the mini seedling, and then you just plant it. So now let me go ahead and line this entire row up with seedlings. It is highly important that you try not to disturb the roots as much as possible because you don't want to accidentally break one off. So you want to make sure you are very cautious when removing the seedlings from their tray. So let me plant up this entire raised bed, and then we'll talk about how to care for them. So I went through and I did the plantings. I planted both the sweet corn and the broom corn. So sweet corn is just your regular corn you harvest and eat. Broom corn is actually grown for broom. You grow it to make your own broom, which I'm super excited about, so that's why I planted it. So here's how it looks. I organized them by row because corn likes to be organized by row, and they actually like to be planted really close to each other because of the pollination. So I have broom corn on that side and I have sweet corn on this side. So after planting, you must water them in. They are seedlings. They need to be hydrated, especially when planted in a new area. They need to be hydrated. So the very first thing you should do, hydrate them, water them deeply for the first, I would say, 2 to 3 days, and then you can help back a little bit of watering because you don't want to overwater and drown them in water. After that, because when it comes down to transplanting, you already fed the soil when you planted them, you hydrate them after planting them, and so something you should keep in mind is to have a vigilant eye. When they're at this stage, they are the most vulnerable plants, so you want to make sure that they don't have any pest or disease on them, so then you can catch it early and treat it because you don't want your plants suffering with some type of pest or disease at this early stage. I would even recommend just not planting any type of diseased seedling because you don't want that to ruin the bunch. Transplanting actually made it way more easier, as I explained with these bigger holes. You just put a little pressure in the bottom and they pop right out. Since I planted corn, they like to be planted in groups and in rows. However, it depends on your seedling on how you'll be planting them. So for example, squash likes to be more apart because the plants get to be big. Bush beans like to grow in a mass. They cannot grow individually. For example, like cucumbers, they're vines, so they require support. So you must plant them with support already installed so you don't damage the roots trying to add support later. So do a little bit of research on your seedling and see how you should transplant it. But it's quite simple. Just make sure you very careful when dealing with the roots so you don't break any. You hydrate them right after planting. You feed the soil before planting. You water them after planting, and then you have a vigilant eye afterwards. Now it's just patience and watch your seedlings grow and develop. So leave me in the comments, what plants have you started from seed and which one has been the most successful? Make sure to leave a like underneath this video and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. May God bless you and your entire family, and never forget to grow big, ultimate gardeners. Bye everyone.